Well, thanks for coming back. And, you know, Carrie, every part of a child's educational experience is really important. But more and more, not only in the education community, but in the business community, in the legislative community, people are understanding the extremely important nature of pre-kindergarten education. We serve over 750 pre-K children in our school district. And I think it's important to note that Governor Abbott established pre-K as his #1 legislative priority last legislative session. And our very own state representative, Dan Huberty, authored House Bill 4, which the governor signed into law, which is all about improving pre-K experiences for young children. So we're thrilled to have with us our local experts. And so to my far right is Amanda Price, and Amanda is our district pre-K specialist. Amanda, good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
And we have one of our trustees, Nancy Morrison, and Nancy is a longtime revered and highly effective principal in Humble ISD, now retired, but fortunately also a member of our school board. So Nancy, thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
You bet. And Nancy, I want to start with you.
Okay.
So you have had lots of experience with pre-K and elementary education overall. Why, in your view and your experience, is pre-K so important?
Well, you know, Dr. Escanzo, for years I've worked with the variety of programs and worked with Amanda, and we have found, and as Governor Abbott has stated, you know, when you have early intervention with students, it makes a huge difference, and that gap actually does close. And we watch STEPS and STEPS Plus, and then of course now we have the employee program. But what we've learned over the years is that with that early intervention, because we're finding in research that our 3- and 4-year-olds, they are sponges. You know, that is the time to step in with that early literacy and everything, and it helps so much because then we find out we don't need as much of 504. We don't need as much RTI process, and that these children have the capability of walking into a kindergarten classroom and being prepared. And so Amanda's programs, especially those children with disabilities, we're finding that, okay, they're with their peers, their normal peer, or average normal peers, whatever you want to call it now, but they're given those peer models to work with. So on and on, we see the research is true, that early intervention, because pre-K is an intervention. And if we can put that in place, think about where our children will be.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I'm curious to hear, Amanda. I mean, we think of elementary school starting at kindergarten, and now we're introducing this whole concept of pre-K. What is a typical day like for a student that's in the pre-K program?
Well, pre-K, from the moment that they walk through the door, it's jam-packed, full of limitless rigor and the entire time that they're there. All of our pre-K programs, whether it's includes special education students or not, we work through 3 research-based curriculums, which we input or embed through our 7 super centers.
Okay.
So basically they walk in, we have a lot of small group centers that they work through, such as reading and language arts, writing where the kids journal, science where they're, you know, testing hypotheses and doing experiments, which they love. We do also, we really focus on the social skills aspect and the behavior readiness of pre-K, because those are some of the basic skills and needs that all of our students need, and they're really prepared when they walk through for kindergarten, and they actually are excelling in kindergarten. Some of our data is supporting that now.
It makes a huge difference, no question about it.
Absolutely.
So Nancy, I mentioned at the onset that, you know, we're serving a little over 750 children. In Texas, pre-kindergarten education is offered to eligible children. So there are certain criteria that children have to meet, either being economically disadvantaged or children of parents or parent in the military, children who are limited English proficient. There are eligibility criteria. There is no question that pre-K would be beneficial for all children. But at the end of the day, Nancy, space is an issue.
Space is an issue, and I hope this opens up, going through the facilities assessment that we're going through for our district. I'm hoping that we will look at different concepts, because as we're aware, you're right, Dr. Sconzo, as I've gone over all the district and gone to all the buildings, they are all suffering with the same concept, because buildings are built to house so many students. They're not built to house programs. So I'm hoping our district will take a real hard look, because I think in the future we definitely need pre-K centers at some point in time, and the only way to do that is to look at it and work through it. So knowing some of our buildings are older and some are in different areas, and our district, we have such a growth factor. So I'm hoping that the facilities assessment will give us some turn on that.
Well, and if I may selfishly, pre-K centers, thank you for saying that. It would make a huge difference in not only the number of children that our district could serve who reside in our community, but also I think it would be a much richer environment for those pre-kindergarten children, for those 4-year-olds.
And can you imagine, right now we have a pilot, I believe, of 3 full-day programs, right, Amanda? Can you imagine how far those 750 children would go if they were all full day, and that we had the space available to reach more children?
Right.
Because that 750 may not be every one that actually qualifies.
Well, thank you both for being with us. We could do a whole show. We should
We
do a whole
could,
show
I
on
know.
pre-K.
It's worth a whole show
We'll
on
do it.
pre-K.
We'll do it. Amanda, thank you for the
Thank you
amazing
very
work you
much.
do. I mean, you're helping to bring pre-kindergarten education to a whole new level in our district, and we value you a ton. Nancy, they don't come better than you.
Well, thank you very much, because pre-K is very near and dear to my heart.
Well, great. And thank you both for being with us.
Thank you.
Stay with Carrie and I. We'll be right back.